Are you filming that now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you seen my scalpel anywhere?
Yes, it's on the table in the other room.
It's on the table in the other room. Right, okay, because I need that to get through this.
Do you want to go and get it for
Right,
you?
so what we got here, right, we've got some overall moonlight. That's just an atmosphere. And we've got a Lancaster, and a Lancaster. And I know it looks like hell, but what a reason is that I go over these edges, but I use biro. And when this paint cures, that biro line shines through, so I can see exactly what I'm doing. So what I'm doing here is I'm just building a sky. This is the foundations of the house. Every house needs a foundation. This is the foundations of this one, okay? So this is a blue-grey, and that's going to be the overall sheen. This is where the landscape will run. This is where that line there is. This will all be the Mona Reservoir. This is Guy Gibson. This is either Last Mick Martin. That is possibly Dingy Young, or it's David Maltby. I haven't fully decided yet, but that's artist privilege. Whichever those three formations make up the most authentic formation, that's the one it is. Okay. There's the splash from the bouncing bomb. The bomb itself will be clearing about here-ish. And following from Hopgood's Courageous Run, we've got the same landscape because it's the Mona Valley Reservoir, and this is this forest line here, and this is the background vale, and there it rises up through there, and this is the closer landscape here. And looking from photographs that were taken after the raid by the Germans themselves, this is what I've based the landscape on. So what I paint is exactly as close as I can get to actually what was there. And that's it really. I've just got to go, and if you look at it, that's all it is. It's this, which is titanium white. It's cerulean blue, and it's a tiny, if you can see there, it's a tiny dollop of burnt sienna. You make a sky blue out of the blue and the white, and sienna, which is not in fact a brown, but it's an orange. This neutralizes with blue and white, and it turns it to a grey, and that's how I get a sort of this grey coloured, blue-grey coloured night sky effect. But there you are, that's a little trade secret from me, and that's a mixing knife. Okay, that's not to be confused as a painting knife, that is a mixing knife. Alright, okay, so you know, you're learning good stuff here. Right, this is a varnishing brush, which is broad, and what I do with that is it takes out the brush marks, because I like to get as even a coat as possible, including in areas like this, which is in the gaps in between. So what I do is I just skim this over just once in a while, which fills it full of bristly hairs which have to be dug out, and hence why I need to find my scalpel. Thank you. And so I'm just gonna smooth, in fact you probably see that on there, so I'm just going to smooth away some of that. Alright, okay, now then, got that coming along nice and even. So what I need to do now is to notice I'm using a number, what the hell is this? It's a
paintbrush.
It's a paintbrush. It's a size 16 medium soft bristle, because I kind of like my things nice and feathery at this side. Okay, and so what I'm doing is bring that in there. It's alright that I go over the line if you look, and that's when it starts to look a bit like, oh shit, but really the line starts to shine underneath it, and it gives me exactly what I want. In fact, I'll take this over the level of splash that I've painted. I'll take this down here to about, yeah, we'll go right on through here, I think, because while it's wet I can add some more blue and grey to this to make it darker, and that will cut in some of the background highlighting that I want. I'll take it down here for now. So, okay, you probably won't see this on film, but actually I can see the marks and the lines and the guidelines that I've written in pencil, or drawn in pencil rather, as to where where this is all going to go. So, right, okay, that's that bit in there. Let's close that up a bit. Okay, it's actually quite a nice fine grain canvas, this. It's really nice. It's nice to work with. Okay, nice sky out there for free. You know, a lot of my paintings have skies that I get out of there. And it's a good discipline because the light out there takes no prisoners. It doesn't wait for anybody. It's there if you want it, but you got to work quick. So that's one of the joys of working here. Right. Okay, now you can probably see that's getting a bit brush marky. So what I need to do now is to take my do and then flick away. And as you can see, it does blend and grade everything very nicely and very uniformly. Now over this there will be some darker greys, some scudding cloud, that kind of stuff that I get kind of known for when in my finished paintings. Look at that, I like that bit there, just not quite fully curing it. Okay. If you get little gaps or little spaces, this is really good for filling them in. Where you see the paint's just gone a little bit too thin and it's not covered as well as you'd like it to. This evens it all up and restores thickness and texture. Now what was I saying? Oh yeah, so here is a base colour. It's a base blue-grey, which I like for creating moonlit skies with. Now I know that night skies, if you look out at night, they're inky black. They're a blue-black colour, right? Which is fair enough. If you paint that, you will see nothing at all, right? So we take a kind of a filmmaker's license here, and we make things a little lighter than they actually are, in order to enable you, the viewer, to see exactly what it is that we're trying to convey. A US Navy pilot friend of mine once said, he said, all you have to do to paint a carrier landing at night is to take a piece of canvas and paint it black, and that's it. Well, that's great for Navy pilots. That's why I'm not a Navy pilot, and neither are you, because we don't have to work out how to land on an aircraft carrier that's blacked out for warfare running in a pitch dark night. But what he didn't tell you was he's got all kinds of infrared cameras and all kinds of infrared night vision equipment and night instruments to bring him onto a deck that will accurately land him onto an aircraft deck in what is apparently pitch black. Now that's fine for him, but it isn't fine for us, because we wouldn't see anything except maybe just the odd bit of glint in the north light. So that's why we do have to create an artificial atmosphere. But that's the whole thing. We create an atmosphere that's aesthetically pleasing. So Yabu sucks to those who think we should be all be painting bloody dim dark moonlit nights, because I'm not. There you go. Right, back to the action. Here we are. Right, okay, now I'm getting to pretty close to where I need things to start to be. So I'm just gonna make sure that's pretty nice and scrubbed in. This is my horizon line here. That's carefully measured from there to there, there to there, there to there, and there to there. So I get it nice and flat, because water is the flattest thing there is. Whatever water is over, it always, if it covers it, it's always leveling it flat. Right, so that's not to say that I don't paint off perpendicular lines, but if I paint off the perpendicular like that, at least it is still a sharp flat edge. It's just gone for a walk on one side, that's all. But okay, so that brings that down to about there. Alright, now then I've got to start thinking about creating some atmospheres. I need to make sure this is pushed out all nice and smooth. Now I'm going to start thinking about creating...
30 seconds left.
Excuse me, 30 seconds left?
Yeah.
Alright, okay. Bill, this is for part one. I've got 30 seconds left. I'm going to start creating some atmospheres in a bit. But before I do that, we're going to stop filming in a moment, because I need to start digging out some of these things. I've got bits of fur and bristle that comes off these things. and I'll see you again in a bit. Thank you. Bye bye.